I always have to explain how a guy with the name Hans Finzel ended up being from Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I'm from, Huntsville. My youngest son, Andrew, used to think it was Huntsville, Alabama. And I didn't tell him for a long time that my hometown was not really named after Dad. But if you know anything about Huntsville, it's the home of the U.S. space program. The space program actually began in Huntsville. When I was a little boy growing up in Huntsville in the 1950s, a long, long time ago, every highway going into my hometown had a big billboard with a rocket ship. And it would say, "Welcome to Huntsville, Alabama, space capital of the universe." Whoa, pretty arrogant. But it was. There was a group of German rocket scientists and engineers that were captured at the end of World War II. A fascinating time in the history of America and Europe and the world. I'm just reading a book, The 100 Last Days of World War II. Fascinating book. These 100 German scientists and engineers were captured by the U.S. Army in Germany and brought to America to begin the U.S. space program. And in the providence of God, my father was one of those 100 chosen by Dr. Werner von Braun to come to America. When I was a little boy growing up in Alabama, they used to test fire rockets. Now, the biggest rocket that America ever built was not the space shuttle, but the Saturn V, which was a cluster of rockets all strapped together. And it was the Saturn V booster rocket that put us on the moon in 1969. When I was a little boy, they used to test fire those rockets. The test stand was about 15 miles from my house, and they would strap the rocket down so it wouldn't take off when they fired it up, and then they would just turn the engines on full blast to see how they would operate. And I can still remember the rocket engines just shaking our house, so much power in those rockets. People often ask me, "Well, Hans, did you ever consider following your father's footsteps into science and space exploration?" I'm fascinated by space exploration. I'm glued to the television watching these pictures coming from Mars. But no, I chose to do something different, but actually quite similar, because what I'm involved in does shake things up.